Loud. Get the party started. I sometimes feel bad for like people watching the replays because I am say, let's get this party started. I think I've said this 100 times in a row now between all the
No,
summits.
dude, it's always good. Like I always say, let's bring on the party people. Let's get this thing going, right? Like let's go. Look at all the party people coming in the room though, man. That is awesome.
All right. So real
Oh, some
quick,
people I'm recognizing. Oh man, awesome sauce. Dude, you brought a crowd today. You brought an army with you, Ben.
and what's crazy is most people didn't even know that you were showing up until last night, this morning. So real quick, like we had a speaker that unfortunately was not able to make it. She shot me a text message and was just like, "Hey, I'm really sick, and unfortunately, I can't talk." So I was like, we'll get her reset up for another one. She's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love her. Sharon is like, I recently dropped an episode with her, so that if you want to go back and listen to what she did at the sales summit last year, she was absolutely phenomenal. Um, Somebody says here from Paris. Hey, like Paris, Texas, or Paris in about, you know, close to where I'm at. Paris, France. So awesome. But I am so excited. I shot a quick text message to my friend. Like, hey, Brian, I'm in a bit of a situation. I'm like, I'm okay with maybe leaving this open because it's a busy week. But I had lost a speaker and she's absolutely amazing. And Brian sent me a text message like, I'm here for you. I'm ready to share. So Brian, I know you guys have seen him before. He is one of the top sourcers across the globe. But here's a cool thing. Most of you guys may not know this recently, but he recently started his own business and he has gone all in. He is in the shoes just like you, day in, day out, building a recruiting company. And my God, I don't know, you're probably not going to talk numbers. What he has shared with me personally, actually, what can say is, what is it? Your first 6 months in, you
Okay, so first six
qualified for
months in, I
Pinnacle?
promised you that I was going to do $500,000, and I came up $17,000 short.
There you go. But here's the thing. Today he's going to share exactly how he got started. Literally how he got started. So Brian, the floor is yours, buddy. And excited that you're here.
All right, let's rock and roll. Let's have some fun, party people. Real quick, I want everybody in the chat to drop your link from where you are in LinkedInville. I want you to let everybody know what's going on in your world. I want you to let everybody know what's shaking because we're going to have a big conversation today. The 100 of us that are here in the room, we're going to talk about how Brian Fink knows nothing. Now, I know that you've attended my webinars before, and I come off as the guy who has all the answers. So, real quick, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. And what we're going to talk about today is a little bit about how I got it wrong. We're going to talk about the data. We're going to talk about building the right ideal customer persona or profile. And then we're going to look at what success looks like. And I'm going to give you the actual work that I do. And then we'll have a Q&A. How's that sound, everybody? Does it sound good? All right, let's get fired up. All right, so this is my introduction to getting it wrong. Start with the precipice that Brian knows everything there is to know about recruiting. I've written 2 books on recruiting. I got a third one coming out. I know everything there is to know about recruiting. I've been in it for 20 years. I've been in it just as long as Ben. I work on areas in the SDLC. I work with the CTOs, the CISOs of large companies. I've been at Twitter. I've been at Apple. I've been at McAfee. I've been at AWS. I know it all. I am a know-it-all. And with 20 years in experience, I got it wrong on day one. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, Brian, there's no way that a guy who idolizes Bubba Fett and wants to be more like Bubba Fett every single day got it wrong on the first day. But I did. I completely stumbled into my first day of having an agency. Okay. Most recruiters, I was like most recruiters, I tried to market to every single person out there. And as a result, if you are everything to all people, you are nothing to no one. Okay. So I ended up closing no one. And then on day one, I decided, haha, I will change direction. I am going to focus on contacting HR and TA leaders because these are my people. This is where I came from. And what I found out was that I had the wrong ICP. What I did is I went to LinkedIn and I said, okay, who's hiring CHROs? Because I know dozens upon dozens and dozens of CHROs and TA professionals. So I went out to Indeed, I went out to LinkedIn, I saw who was hiring for this role because I figured the data told me this is where I needed to be. But I'm a tech recruiter, right? I mean, I wrote the book on tech recruiting. So I have 29,000 first connects on LinkedIn. Of them, 5,000 plus are CHROs, 381 are CTOs, 65 are CIOs, and there are 42 CISOs, Chief Information Security Officers. So the data told me that I have CHROs in my blood, in my pipeline, and that's who I should go after. Round of applause if you think that was the right thing to do. Nobody thinks it was the right thing to do. I don't see any claps. All right. Instead, what I needed to do is I needed to build quickly and I needed to build something that had legs that would be just as sustainable as my 20-year in recruiting. And what I felt that needed to be was the ideal customer profile. I really needed to research who I should be talking to, when I should be talking to them, because I wanted it to lead to faster closes. I wanted higher fees. Shout out real quick. Who on this call really likes working for 20%? Is there anybody who likes working for 20%? I want to see those hands go up way high. 18%, 16%, 15%? No, we want to go higher. Okay. And I wanted to go higher too. I didn't want to substitute my ambitions to build a great recruiting firm and a great agency that would help build people and companies at scale by shortcutting or shorting myself. And that brings me to the second part because I wanted to work with people that was a better fit for me to work with. Not everybody is going to be my ideal customer. Some people are going to make it difficult for me to work with them. They're going to have a lot of hoops for me to jump through. They're going to say, well, we want you to be an MSP. We want you to do this through our portal. No, 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 no. I don't hear that shit. That shit don't work for me. Okay. And I ultimately wanted less wasted time. Now, like I said, there are about 100 of us that are tuned into this webinar right now. And we've been on here for about 12 minutes. By doing the quick and dirty math, that is easily 120,000 minutes that have already been spent. That is roughly, I don't know, that's like 5 work weeks, right? For people like us. So is anyone hiring? I don't care if anyone is hiring. I want my clients, the people who fit my specific ICP, I want them to be hiring. And then I want you to ask yourself, I want you to get real. Are you chasing logos or are you chasing your ideal buyers, right? Because this is a Nike shoe that has the swoosh removed from it. Are you trying to get Nike? If you are, good luck. I grant you serendipity and experience, and I hope for the best. Or are you looking for your ideal client? Because my ideal client is somebody who has 40 to 400 employees that is quickly building and has a small engineering org. But I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I'm going to give you the blueprint about how I went out there. And then are you strong? Guys, gals, everybody. I thought that because the argument LinkedIn was making is I had this relationship with all these CHROs is that I was strong in human resources. But the reality of it is that I am strong in technology. I can talk to you to your blue in the face about Kubernetes or LangChain or LangGraph and how it compares with Llama. That's where I'm strong. Are you strong? Is there a repeatable segment of hiring that you can win, deliver for, and expand with? That's a big question, right? Because in the world of executive search, and that's the realm that I'm playing in today, where I'm going after VPs, directors, head of AI, and the like, and maybe the occasional principal engineer, make sure that this is an area I can expand in. So I'm not constantly reinventing the wheel. So I'm not constantly cold calling a new decision maker. So I'm building upon the decision makers that are currently in the loop. So about that loop, I think there's three things that we've got to look for when we're talking to our ideal customer profile or persona. It's economic, it's relational, it's operational. It's these three things, this holy triangle, and they kind of go around together in a wheel. I know, a wheel and a triangle. Apparently, you now understand why I was screwed up at the beginning of this whole thing, right? Economic. Do they have the budget, right? Like everybody talks about how they want to hire the best. They needed them last week. Does their checkbook match their level of urgency? Does their checkbook, does their calendar meet their level of budget? Let me say that again. Does their calendar equal their level of budget? Does their checkbook equal their urgency? Relational. Do they have trust with you? Do they have trust with their other vendors? Do they have trust with their employees? Do they provide an open communication style where they come in and they just verbally vomit? They tell you everything where all the secrets are. Or are they keeping everything close to the chest? Because if they are, you're not going to be able to sell the candidate on the opportunity because you're not going to know what is going to permit them to level up in their career. Do they foster collaboration? Do they look at you and say, oh, recruiter, you're some clerical worker that occasionally sends me a few resumes? Operational. Are these expectations that they have for what they're looking for, is it calibrated? Did you do a really thorough needs analysis, hiring manager strategy session with them, and that you fully understand what's the hiring process? Because I'll tell you, you don't want to be working with somebody that constantly adds one more interview, one more interview. Every interview that they add gets you further away from the paycheck that you want to land in your candidate's hand and the commission check that you want to land in your inbox. So let's go back to this magical graph, right? Economic, we see how it connects with the operational. We understand how operational connects with the relational, and we understand how the relationship ultimately comes down to some of the economics. But it leaves you wondering, who should I target? Who should my ICP be, right? For me, I start with the type of company that I want to work for. Series seed or a series A? In this scenario, what I'm asking is they need speed, they need scrappiness, but they also need heavy guidance. They're looking at you to make those critical hires, those sub 50 hires in their organization. Be prepared. They've got high urgency to hire, but they've got low process, and you may have to stop and provide some of that infrastructure like we do here at the Rework Group. Series B, Series C, this is our sweet spot, okay? Most of these companies, they're privately held. They've got a hiring velocity that is going to increase as they move towards sometimes a growth horizon. They're going to value your expertise, their process, the process that you bring to them, your specialization. Look, I am not looking to fill accounting roles, right? I want to be able to refer that to somebody else, and I want them to trust my referral. I also want to make sure that this particular client has enough budget for a retainer or even an embedded solution. Growth backed and P backed companies. You know what? They got mandates, they got timelines, they've got the readiness to pay if you hit certain KPIs. They might be a winner, but they're not really my ICP. Enterprise. Guys, you already know I don't like to jump through a lot of hoops. This is only ideal if you're niche and if you can solve a specific pain point. And we're going to get to pain in a second because pain leads you to who is your true buyer, right? Is it the VP of engineering? Is it a CTO, CIO type? Is it the chief product officer? Is it the CFO who you're going to have to make sure has budget and business case? Or if you're going small, is it the founder, CEO at those earlier stage startups or earlier stage companies? Because your ideal buyer, I said I was going to come to this pain part, they have a painful talent gap. I've always referred to this both as an internal recruiter and an external recruiter. Is there a problem to solve? What will this person do? They are not simply hiring for the glory of having another person added to headcount. That's a liability. Number two, they understand the complexity of of solving this particular problem. And they understand that maybe they don't have the skill set that gets them from where they are today to where they want to be tomorrow. Number three, they have the authority to make a hire. They're not passing the buck. They're not saying something like, oh, well, I like to get, I mean, they're saying something like maybe I like to get input from my team, but ultimately the hire rests with me. Do they possess budget? Do they understand how EBITDA works in their business? Do they understand the level of urgency that goes along with this business? And then I come back to an offhanded comment that I made earlier. They see recruiting as strategic, not as clerical. So, what does this mean? This means that you have to pin down the core attributes of a quality, ideal customer profile. You have to make sure that they feel the pain, right? That they acknowledge the problem, the skill gap, the risk with time to fill, the revenue impact. They have to understand EBITDA. They have to feel the cost of not hiring. Budget and urgency. Come back to this. Are you retained? Are you engaged? Is there a high value contract opportunity? In this instance, the client wants guidance. They don't want cheap resumes. If they want you to send them a few resumes, they're not your client. They're not. Collaborate. We want somebody who is going to be engaged in the intake strategy session. Somebody who's going to give feedback, not just, I didn't feel that Joe was a good fit for our team. We want somebody who says, Alice is a great fit for our team because they've got Kubernetes and they know EKS, AKS. I'm not going to go through the Kubernetes soup, but you get my picture and my point. You want somebody who's going to trust your process for vetting candidates, somebody who treats you like a partner, not like a vendor. And then you want somebody with repeatable needs. You want to find a company that has the opportunity for you to fill multiple roles with them. Somebody who has a clear talent roadmap, somebody who understands what they need to do to get from X to Y to Z. And you want to make sure that you've got the opportunity to help them expand into multiple functions or multiple teams. So it's as much as we just said it's all about Mr. Client, I want you to take a minute and say, it's about me. It's about finding your strengths. Okay. I want you to be able to match your niche and align it with your network in a unique way where you and I align your fluency and your market intelligence, that you know what's going on in your field, that you are listening to podcasts about, in my case, I listen to big technology podcasts, which talks about the arbitrage and credit default swaps that are taking place in the AI marketplace. And I can bring that knowledge to my client in a much more redacted version. Okay. Don't know what I did with that slide, but that's okay. That's cool. We already admitted I'm not perfect. But about not perfect, I want to tell you who you're not talking to. I want to make this clear as day. I want to give you your anti ICP. If they have no budget, if they have no clarity about the role, if they have no urgency, they are not a fit for you. If they want you to send them some resumes, if they're part of that crowd, fuck that noise. You don't want to, you're not doing that, right? You don't want to work with disorganized hiring managers. You certainly don't want to work with those 5,000 people that I reached out to who are trying to protect their turf. You don't want slow feedback loops. I think what's ideal is the standard that Amazon has set, the 2 and 5 promise. Google it. It's about giving feedback in a realistic time frame to every single candidate, letting them know where they stand. 6+ interview round cultures. Look, man, if it takes more than 6 interviews for somebody to figure out who they're going to hire, they go back to no urgency and can you send me some resumes? They don't know what they're looking for. And then finally, you do not want to work with founders who think recruiting is easy. Because I will tell you, bad clients will bankrupt your time before they bankrupt your business. Nobody here wants to go bankrupt in 2026, 2027, or the foreseeable future. So cut out these bad actors. All right, let's lock and load. Let's go after this, right? I talked about the pain. Build a pain-driven narrative. Are you reaching out to your clients based upon missed revenue? Hey, did you miss your number? If you're a salesperson, if you're VP of sales, CRO, You might want to know, did you guys exceed your number? Delayed product releases. Hey, Mr. Software Engineer, Mr. VP of Software, did you guys release all your software in a timely, bug-free environment? Burnout on existing teams. Hey, I noticed that you guys have 100% remote work policy paired with an unlimited PTO policy. Do you have enough people to cover for when people are unaccountable for? Maybe ish. Lost customers. Hey, Mr. Customer Success Manager, are you losing customers because you don't have the right people fielding those calls? Or competitive risk? Hey, I noticed the other day that CoreWeave took $2 billion in revenue or $2 billion in investment from NVIDIA. How does that make you feel about your position in the marketplace relative to CoreWeave? Your ICP is going to respond to impact, not fluff. Give them real numbers, let them give you real numbers, discover where the pain is. Shortlist ICP indicators, right? What does an ICP look like? Well, we've talked about a few different areas that you can dial into that are specific to, well, that are kind of fungible to everybody. But I want to talk to you about what we do here at Rework, right? We're a three-man team, um, looking for more, probably going to hire another two individuals onto the organization, uh, probably midsummer when we hit our 1 year anniversary. Ben knows that I've got some goals on that, right? But this is our ICP. This is who we call on. We call on companies that have 40 to 400 employees that falls in that Series A to Series B, and sometimes those Series C companies, right? They have to have an engineering org that is greater than 12 people. Why? Because we want to work with engineering and product engineering focused companies. Number three, we want to work with companies that plan on hiring 5 critical foundational hires each year so that we are not going out and we're not resetting or redoing or constantly engaging in business development, that we are going deep with our customer. And our customer is a VP level or above, i.e., a CEO, a CTO, a CISO, and what have you. And then also, we want to make sure they have strong product market fit. What I mean by this is they're not pivoting the company one day to be doing something social media, and the next day they're going to do phone number and email lookups, right? They know who they are, they know what they're doing, and they're going forward on that, just like you are with your ICP. And then I invite you to rework our reroam replan program, right? So we're not, we post on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's important. Post on LinkedIn, get out there. Woo, okay. Actually, if you want to post on LinkedIn, you want to do it the correct way. I really, Ben has some excellent speakers that are coming up that are going to talk about that, and I want you to stick around for. Well, I think Julia already spoke this morning, but I want you to stick around for a myriad of individuals that are going to talk about that. But what I want to talk about is that we identify Slack channels and Discord communities where people are having conversations about technology. We get into niche tech communities, i.e., we're going to meetups. I live here in Atlanta. I'm not afraid to get on a jet and go to New York for a meetup where I know that there are going to be 20 to 30 people, right? That's going to be very nuanced. Podcasts. Are you listening to the same thing that your ICP is listening to? You can go on Spotify, you can type in their name, you can pull up their playlist, you can see who they're subscribed to. Maybe I'll come back and show how to do that in a sourcing episode, Ben. Don't know. But you want to make sure you're providing them with content about their pain. You want to be at the right conferences. You don't want to go to HR conferences and think that you're going to talk to them about their CTO roles. You want to go to TechServe. You want to be in different places, different environments that are specific to what your ICP is. And then video intros. Don't be afraid to send a video to somebody saying, hey, came across your background in this area, want to see if you've got a minute to do so. You've got caption, which you can do on your iPhone, where it'll do or you've got, vids on your Google phone, where you can do a teleprompter and you make you look nice and suave that you know what you're talking about. And then video referrals. Ben asked me on a call just at the end of the year, where I was talking to one of his mastermind groups about how I've been successful. And one of the ways that I've been successful is I just ask a client, In this case, Yi Zhang, is I asked him, hey, would you send a video referral to somebody that was also a first time founder who's looking for a fractional CTO? And that's what began the conversation. The flywheel. It all begins with a great intake session. Once you get the client talking to you, then we all know that it delves in delivery. And if I did a good job for you here, can I expand in another direction? And then finally, there's the referral. Two things here. It really should be referrals, right? Is that you want your client to refer you to somebody in their peer group. Believe me, if all of us are getting together today to have a conversation amongst us peers, we know that the CTOs, the CIOs, the CISOs, the CFOs, that they're having that conversation just as well. Ask them for an introduction to their peer group. Also, I mentioned the CFO. I don't do accounting and finance. I don't do sales. If I've got a sales role, 9 out of 10 times I'm calling Joel Alge and I'm saying, Joel, you should be picking up this role, right? And I'm making that introduction. And that's why referrals are important. And then finally, I want to give you a little bit of homework, right? Ben knows that these are all books on my desk because my desk looks like a book train wreck or a book graveyard. Um, Define your top ICP segments. Are you going after Series A? Are you going after seed? If you're going after those areas, hey, put some time on my calendar. We'll get together for office hours. It's a service that I make available for free, where I just talk to recruiters about what they're seeing and I just try to help everybody go further and faster together. Write your ICP's pain statement. Know where it is that they're struggling in the market, and then take those and build an outreach for that persona. Remember, your ICP is the clients who value you, pay you, and partner with you. I'm really grateful that I could be here today. I'm here from Atlanta, Georgia. That's where you saw the cityscapes from. And I'm excited to take on Q&A and answer whatever I can for you or show you around or get wild and crazy.
All right. As we're if you have some questions, drop them in the Q&A. But while we're
Alan, what's going on? Alan, Alex, how are things? Hey, oh man, this is great. Kelly, what's going on? Kelly H in the house.
I was gonna say, drop a emoji in the chat of your thoughts on Brian's talk. The talk that he put together in less than 24 hours.
Well, I mean, here's the deal is that if you need all this time to put a talk together, you're not doing the work. And Ben, I think that's
Ooh,
something
so true.
that no, I mean, like you've challenged me about that you challenge everybody on all your interviews. Guys, I'm not here to gas up Ben, like whatever. Here's the reality is if you can't show your work, you're not doing the work. And if you can't turn around, I mean, yeah, it was a sunny afternoon. I was like, yeah, give me some time. Like I had to pull some pictures together and get some things going, but like Ben, I had the deck to you. I mean, like, this is the first time I've given this talk. I had the deck to you in like 2 hours, I think.
You did. Somebody asked,
Yeah.
can you speak on the intersection of developing your ICP and your geographic location?
Kristen, that's a great question. So for me, I primarily focus on roles on the East Coast. I've got one client on the West Coast because I don't like to stay up late at night. Um, is that location, location, location? Make sure that you're swimming in a blue ocean, right? That you're the person who is known for that thing in that particular area. About the geographical location, I primarily focus on New York, Chicago, Atlanta. Actually, I don't really do a lot of business in Atlanta. I have one client in Atlanta. We have 3 roles with them. I love you, but I don't do a lot of stuff in Atlanta. I mentioned getting on a plane and going to New York. I'm not afraid to do that once a month. Yeah, that's a little bit about ICP and location.
Somebody asked, where do you find most of your candidates? What is your candidate sourcing process?
Ben, can I say the word pen out loud?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I think that Penn is one of the sponsors of the conference. I've been a longtime Penn user. I've been tinkering with Penn ever since I saw them at SourceCon um, uh, two 2 years ago, and I saw the product, and it's made a lot of strides. But Penn is primarily my go-to for sourcing. unless I'm going to do something sourcing freehand. For instance, sourcing freehand might be going and finding Discord communities that I would jump into. Like for instance, okay, I'm gonna everybody. Actually, wait, Ben, can I? Do we? How much time do we have?
Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, you got plenty of time.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna open this up. All right. So when I go freehand sourcing, um, I'm gonna go to site command. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let's go. TikTok was acting wild the other day, but if I'm looking for somebody's Discord server and I'm looking for their Gmail, I do a command like site command TikTok.com, which says, hey, I only want to see results from TikTok, but I specifically am looking for people who have a link to their Discord, who are engineers, who also have a Gmail address. Now, Pin can't do this. So what I'm doing is I'm jumping in here. There's Tracy with a quick update for everybody. That's her cat rescue. Um, don't know what's going to come up. Husky halfway house. Okay, cool. Um, I am going to, she has a link tree that has her Discord, TikTok, and X, and I have an opportunity to fall into her Discord chat, right? So that may be something that I do that's a little outside of pin. Also, and I think this is what the good people want. If David Marr's on this call, this is what the good people want. Um, I am going to Ben. Can we send out my Google custom search engine to everybody who who likes to search on LinkedIn?
I can get it added to your talk page and also add it
Okay,
to the freebies.
cool. All right. So add it to the freebies. If we're looking for a Ben, shout me out a search so this doesn't look rehearsed.
Uh, should we do something in the cleared world or
Clear. Oh, cleared. Okay, fantastic. I'm looking for somebody who is a engineer who has cleared and was also a member of the Navy and lives in Maryland. There we go. Active clearance. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to click on Douglas Benjamin or Benjamin Douglas. Come over here. He's a cybersecurity engineer, as active clearance. I went just in through LinkedIn. I did that through Google. I'm going to pass that. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to pass that through the chat. Um, everybody who's in the chat, go ahead and grab that. Grab that right now. Also, if you want, connect with me on LinkedIn. I give out little tips all the time, but as I had suggested, what phrase, Alan? What phrase do I narrow down location? I just put Maryland, but you could have put Bethesda, Maryland. Um, you could have put Bethesda, Maryland in quotes.
you got a few more Q&As over here? How do you find companies with Series A funding?
Oh, okay. So there's this great website that we're going to call. Actually, so there are two ways to do this. Is that go into ChatGPT or into Perplexity or Claude and say, give me the top 10 VC fundraisers across the in North America, right? And so if we do that, that's one way. But one of the ways that I go into and find these roles all the time is I go into its orange logo is orange. They backed Foursquare, and why can't I think of it? Give me two
YC?
seconds. Y Combinator, yes, sir. ycombinator.com/jobs. Victoria, you can do Crunchbase as well. If you do Crunchbase, I recommend that you actually go into Google and set up a Google alert and aim it at Crunchbase so that anytime that data comes through, you get an email from Google as opposed to paying for the money for Crunchbase.
Somebody asked, how do you develop your portfolio? They're in Europe, and they're saying it's a real struggle, and all the clients are just on hold with all the AI staff.
Uh, I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm going to say Hora. Hora. In Europe, I would look for the European Tech Stars or European version of Tech Stars, and I would go direct. I would go to their conference, and I'd make sure that I had that conversation directly with a few individuals. That's what I would do.
Somebody's
Mike, who we got next? Who wants to go?
somebody says, I'm in the Q&A. Great take on the ICPs. What factors do you apply in elevating the strength of a new or emerging niche, or the intersection of client demand, candidate accessibility, salary and fee potential slash VMS insularity?
So here's the thing: is I can't help people with a VMS. I can't because what I do, Spiro, is that I will approach clients, and when they say, "Well, I want to do this hiring, what have you," I'll ask a question like, "Well, what does your hiring practice look like today?" And they say something to the effect of, "Well, we have 3 interviews, and they're about this." And I say, "Would you be open to me doing an audit? No money out of your pocket, just an audit to see what your hiring process looks like and building scorecards for you to help you and your team make sure that you're treating candidates fairly." Um, that works for me when I'm talking to probably 60% of the people that I talk to.
Sweet. And Mike says, if you had to rebuild your desk today from zero, what would you stop doing entirely in the first 30 days?
That is a hell of a good question, Mike. I think that rather than see what I could build, I would think what I could purchase quickly, right? Like I showed you guys the CSC. I've been working on that for 10 or 12 years, trying to make it better. God knows how much time I've spent on it, but or I can spend $300 on Pin, and Pin gets me what I need for 3,000 people. Snap the fingers. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, guys. I don't mean to be coughing in everybody's ears.
What is one variable in outbound that when it clicks, suddenly makes everything else work? And how long did you take to notice it?
It took me probably about 30 days to find out the variable, and the variable was asking, "Hey, what roles do you have that I can work on?" Right? Like in some form or fashion, it was that I put all my emails into Gemini, and I said, "What do these emails have in common? If your ideal persona was a CTO, what kind of email do you want to hear?" Based on the responses, and I put all that into Gemini. And so it probably took me 2 or 3 weeks to think about it. And then it took a conversation with Mike Wolford for me. He'd be like, Brian, why don't you just let it onto a GPT and tell it where ask it to tell it where you're making these mistakes?
Since you're targeting C to Series A, what's your opinion on Paraform?
Um, got no opinion on Paraform. Sean, if you want to invite me to Paraform, you can invite me to Paraform. I'm really not. I'm no. You know what, man? Paraform. Like I've heard too many horror stories. I like to work with the. I'm when I have a conversation. Like I referenced one of my clients in the talk, is that I have a conversation with him and the CTO about what we're going to do, and then I schedule everything for them. I think maybe Paraform can't decide whether it's on hand or offhand or backhand or what have you. So I also think that if you want to just target Series A, you could like somebody talked about going on Crunchbase, and I said set up alerts. I think that's just as easy way to do that. Anna, what's your fee for all these startups? Anna, you can get Brian as your recruiting partner for no less than 25%. I do not like to get out of bed and put my shoes on for less than 25%.
Uh, Eden says the CSE Google search is gold. Is there another golden nugget or unique candidate sourcing channels that you could provide outside of maybe probably Pin too?
Yeah. I did the so. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on one second. Discordia. Discadia. It's not Discordia. I'm sorry. You guys about heard me sing. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Discadia. It it finds open Discord channels so that you can just drop into chats with people. If you get on Discord, you'll find that most people have filled out their profile and that they've got links um, to their different social profiles. Also, about that question, I think Ben knows this, but my number one source of hire is Instagram. You guys are familiar with the Gram? It's an up and coming website.
What's that?
Oh, what's in Instagram or WhatsApp? Instagram. Okay.
What's Instagram?
What's Instagram? Well, I'm glad that you asked, man, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to share screen one more time. Um, there's Discadia, and you can just go in here and say, I'm searching for salespeople or GTM. I'm just going to show this, and then I'm going to show. There we go. We have a GTM gaming community where you can talk about playing games with gamers that are GTMs. But for the most part, what we're going to do is we're going to go site command. I'm going to go Instagram, and I'm going to type in engineer and Gmail. But to make things really crafty, I'm going to go over to Emojipedia, and I'm going to look for a snake. Oh, there's a snake. I'm going to get it. Copy that snake. I'm going to drop a snake in here because that's an emoji for Python. Oh my goodness. I found all these people that are hiring that are looking for Python engineers, and they use the snake. Ooh, they didn't use the word Python, right? Here they use the word Python, right? Placement opportunities. Okay, let me look for somebody who knows Python and JavaScript. I got really excited about that emoji. Apparently, that was lost on the crowd. Um,
We said
Alabama,
genius.
Alabama. Just hire me. Oh my goodness. Look at this dude. December 25th, he wants to get hired. And there's his Gmail address. No new. Oh man, I knew there was going to be some nudity, dude. I knew it. I had no clue that was going to happen. Ben, that's what we get. That's what we got. All right.
That's what we get
Uh,
for lying on live.
yeah, that's what I do for live sourcing. Also, there's this little place that I like to go to find uh, engineers. It's called GitHub, but I don't like to log into GitHub. Bring me back people who went to the University of Georgia who have a resume. Python, University of Georgia. Oh, wait, quick question. Anonymous attendee, what's the best way of finding contact info of candidates? That's a great question. Hey, Ben, do you like free resumes?
I will take a free resume.
Okay, so somebody give me a role real quick because I want this to be on the fly.
Product manager from Sean. Actually, Janice is
Sean,
optometrist. Optometrist?
optometrist. All right, I'm going to look for the product managers real quick. That came out first. Product manager. And we're going to say that that person lives in Venice, Venice Beach, and that they went to, fuck it, we'll just do that. Oh, nobody in Venice Beach. Let's see if I got anybody in Alabama.
Nobody that works at Snap
Le-
can afford to live by Snap.
yeah, yeah. All right. So here's what we did is we pulled up a bunch of free resumes that are all, and this is Steve Bailey. He went to the University of Alabama. This is his resume. It's available at stevebailey.net, but we just downloaded it. Um, that's cool. So that's a good way to find contact info. Another way to find contact info, anonymous attendee, is I like to go parentheses at gmail.com or at yahoo.com or at now we know this is the most secure email address alive, right? iCloud at iCloud.com. Okay, and I'm going to say that I'm looking for an optometrist. Oh my goodness. There we go. We got optometrists. We got an effing directory of the Oregon Optometry Association. Oh, give me that. I want some of that.
Going old school.
Oh my goodness. 2017. Now how many people do you think changed their Gmail address? Nobody, Anthony Bistido. I hope everybody was entertained by me saying Bistido. I didn't know we were going to do this today.
Uh,
Um,
Jenna's excited that was hers, and we got some more questions.
okay,
Uh,
cool.
Great take on clients to stay away from. Can you walk us through how you actually find the right ICP? I think you did that for the.
Yeah, I did the walkthrough in the ICP. It took me probably about 30, 40 days to really get dialed in with who I was looking for and the message I was having with them. Um, and what was resonating and what wasn't resonating. That's another thing is if somebody replies to you and says I'm not interested, write back and ask them, hey, I'm new in this field. No matter how old you've been in this field, you're still new. Or you can say, I'm learning how to talk to people or what have you. You basically want to capitalize on one six-letter word. I need your advice on how to get better. Would you give me your advice? They will write just gratuitous amounts of information. Um, okay, wait, you want the resume search um, not the find the guy that's posing naked to get hired. Okay, you want this search. Okay, here's the optometrist search. So this looks on all the emails, and then we wanted Steve Bailey's resume search. There we go. So Ben, I got a question.
I might have an answer.
Do you want me to come back and teach a class on just like introduction to Boolean and how you can pull all this stuff apart when we have another summit?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. All right, that's cool. We'll put that on the agenda for the next one.
What does the audit look like, and do you have templates?
That is a great question. The audit of, I mean, not really. Like I just have prompts. Like I just put like everything into Gemini, and I just ask it to go through what's in my inbox. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Is PIN just for tech recruiting? Nadia, it is not just for tech recruiting. In fact, I have a good friend and mentor, uh, uh, Jeff Audette. Jeff Audette owns a veterinary recruiting service, and he uses it to find veterinarians.
what's your best way of finding contact info, especially personal cell phones?
Okay, so remember that string that I gave about uh, the optometrist? This string right here. Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to put area codes. I'm going to put 706, which is Athens, or 229, which is South Georgia, or uh, 678, which is Atlanta. Phone number, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, can you share the
Or,
screen?
yep. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Shit. Okay, sorry. Okay. Now we're going to do something super naughty. Hey, Ben. Okay, so
Oh,
here's the
no.
string. I'm going to send that over in a second. Ben, is Zoom Info now or in the future ever going to be a speaker?
Zoom info? No.
Yeah. Okay, fuck them. All right. Should have sponsored zoominfo.com, and we're going to look for an optometrist in Nevada. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at all that. Look at all that private information. Look at all that private information. Let's put an at symbol in there too. Oh my goodness. Dynamic eye. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. What's going on? Thanks, Zoom. You want me to drop that in the chat too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
And while you're grabbing those two, I'll read this one. My core specialty is planning roles, particularly working with planning managers and delivery leads. That's what I've built the strongest credibility in, where I tend to open doors, as planning sits right at the center of delivery, risk, and program performance. In one recent example, placing planners led to a strong relationship with operations directors who then asked me to support additional engineering roles. My thinking is that this works well when it's planning led and planning wins the client, and then I selectively support adjacent delivery critical roles where the trust already exists. What I'm keen to avoid is diluting the planning niche by taking on unrelated engineering roles too early. But at the same time, I don't want to leave revenue on the table where clients are specifically asking for support and the roles are closely tied to delivery outcomes. Keen on your thoughts on whether this feels like a right balance between maintaining a clear specialization and maximizing account growth.
Aaron, I love that question. So I'm going to tell you what I did for a client who uh, we hired their VP of engineering, we handled their head of AI, and they wanted us to do a bunch of other roles that we could design the process for, but it didn't necessarily make sense for us to hire for every single one. Duplicate yourself. Place a recruiter on demand inside their facility, inside their team that can leverage the tool set that you have and be monitored by you to deliver on those goals and objectives at the standard of work that you've created that excellence for.
I love that. And also, like, the relationships that you have with people too is important.
Oh, 100%. Sharifa, is it 25% contingent or retainer? That's a great question. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they gave me some advice on retainers. So retainers are quote unquote hard to get, but you know what's not hard to get? A reverse retainer.
A what?
Okay, okay, yeah. So here's what we're going to do is that I understand you don't want to pay the retainer, but I think that I understand the platform pretty well. I'd like to enter into an agreement with you that if I send you three candidates and you decide that you're going to interview any one of those three candidates, that you'll go ahead and pay the retainer. There's a great book, Ben, and you knew there was a book recommendation coming with me, right? Hermosi wrote a book called $100 Million Deals. Okay. He has 100 million leads. He has $100 million, this, whatever. The basis of this is that we are in such a cutthroat, competition driven environment where there are people who are dropping their shorts for 16% that we have to figure out how to prove that we're different, that we can create, that we can create value for them. Is there anybody on the call who does the reverse retainer? Is there anybody on the call who does a 6 month guarantee? Same as cash.
Cricket, cricket, cricket.
Okay.
There we go. Somebody,
Sol and I
yes.
are the
Yes,
only
yes,
two people.
yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. We're the only people doing this, right? There's going to be somebody who's going to go after this and say, I will give you a year guarantee on this person's performance. And that is more custom with a C suite CEO search, right? But I charge more for it, like paying for insurance. Damn straight you do, David. Damn straight you do, David.
And is it like a cash back guarantee or is it a replacement?
No, I do cash back.
100%, or does it like change on percentage of how long
Nope,
they're
I
gone?
give them 100%. I want them to be 100% happy. I do not want them to walk away.
Tim
Tim,
said I'm challenged by niching down and down and down. It's been one hell of a journey. What advice can you provide? I drink about a gallon of coffee, so the energy's there.
Tim, I know the energy's there with you, boy. You're one of those people that take advantage of my office hours, Tim. So real quick, don't if the aperture is too small that you can't that it's uncomfortable, open up the aperture a little bit. Okay. Like, we do principal engineers, staff level engineers, directors, senior directors, up to CTO. We've got one CTO search and it is a pain in my butt right now. The reality of it is if the aperture was only that we were going to hire CTOs, I'd feel a lot of pain right now because I don't have any placements done on that level right now. Right? Like I only have one search. I've filled one search already. I've got a social proof that says I can do it. But if I was super niche down on that, like open up the aperture a little bit. Tim, you know my number. Tim, you got my number. What does my day look like? I feel like I don't know. I don't know what my day looks like. Give me 1 second. Tim, give me a DM or give me a call and we'll work through this.
He just dropped in the Q&A.
Okay. Okay, cool. Spiro, I heard Google is sunsetting the CSE by the end of the year. Thoughts? I remember when Google was supposed to sunset being able to index LinkedIn. I know Shally thinks that it's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm interested to see how CSEs work with inside the Gemini browser.
It looks like Tim sent you the thing. You got that. Awesome. Awesome. Love that you mentioned Shelly. Cool.
Yeah, Shally's a good dude. He lives around the corner.
I think we got all the Q&As.
All right, all right. So is there anything else? I really do want to thank, there were some people like Nicole who sent me texts before this. There were people like Alan Fleur who always show up no matter what kind of trouble I'm going to get into. I'm really grateful to them. Tim, I'm grateful for you as well. Diane, I appreciate it. I'm just looking through the list here. I know that we're running out of time, but there's so many people that make this community great. And I know that we all stand on each other's shoulders. We all lean on each other for support. Um, if there's anything that I can do to help you, like Ben said, have the best year ever in 2026, please let me know. I'm sorry that I don't view you as competitors and that I view you as brothers and sisters. That may be my great undoing. But the strong reality of it is I believe that we will all go further together faster.
Cool. And I know we got probably about 30 minutes before we get started with Clark Wilcox. Um,
Oh, dude, F&A, Clark.
and just for everybody that's listening, in the Elite Recruiter community, we're going to be doing a 30-day sales challenge starting the second week of February after the sales conference is done. Biggest thing is just, get together with other people. Like you're doing a lot of learning. The next important thing is putting yourself to work. So, anyways, excited, Brian. You just absolutely crushed it. Thank you so much, brother. And we have Clark Wilcox in about 30 minutes. Make sure if you are not following Brian on LinkedIn, make sure to go follow him. He's always dropping stuff.
All right, party people. Let me know how I can be helpful. I'm here for you. I'm here for this community. Ben, thank you for giving me the opportunity and responsibility today.
Love it, brother. See you soon.